Good morning! Gonna show you what is happening in the garden in this, I guess we're in mid-August already. So I'm gonna turn this around and show you guys what's happening. Everything is growing, including the weeds. So the carrots are doing awesome. We keep pulling them, kind of having baby carrots, and I'm fermenting most of those, but they are getting pretty big, the ones that we're pulling up now. And then there's some bok choy that went to seed. This lettuce went to seed. I will be pulling this out. I've already pulled out all the other lettuce and spinach that went to seed, and I'm replanting that. We only have about 30 days left frost-free in our area, but I'm going to get some baby spinach and lettuce out of that. Garlic has all been harvested from those two beds, and I simply laid all the spinach and stuff over those beds to keep the cats out of them. And so garlic will be replanted in late September, October. The peas are actually still going strong. They've suffered a little bit in the hottest part of the summer, but they're still growing. And there's some kale in there, volunteer sunflower, and the radish pods, which I prefer over the radishes, but they're still not my favorite. And then over here we have Swiss chard that is still going strong. Onions are getting super close to harvest. Let's see. So if you can, size-wise, my hand fits about half of that. So next year I hope to have triple the amount of onion beds. So the basil is doing well. The peppers from here are ones I did from seed that are suffering a bit. Squash bed, man, the sun is harsh right now. It's hard to see this. One of the squash beds, and this has some little melons in it as well. They're not quite ripe yet, so hopefully those ripen before our frost. The tomatoes are doing great. So the squash is like trailing all the way out here. Tomatoes are doing good. We've got more basil in here. One of my favorite plants is the tomatillos, which are just adorable. The little hanging blossoms and then the little hanging paper lantern type things. I don't know how much you guys can see, but there are a gazillion tomatillos, and those are all grown from seed. I'm glad they're doing well. More tomatoes, peppers. I'm not sure, some of these are still blossoms and teeny tiny, so hopefully those will produce by the time our freeze happens. Short growing seasons are a challenge. And the green beans are finally blossoming and taking off well, but they're still pretty small. More pea plants. Tomatillos working their way out of the bed. Peas, and green beans. I'll let a bunch of broccoli go to seed. Hopefully it'll replant itself. There's a head. I pulled out an absolutely beautiful head of cauliflower last week. Let's see if we have any more. Oh, there's one. Cauliflower's doing great. There's more cauliflower with flying weed in it, and a baby one over there. And broccoli. This broccoli produces one head, and then it kind of does these little sprouts from the sides. So harvested a ton of cabbage. Made a bunch of kraut. Those are like the leftover outer leaves that I just left in the bed to keep the cats out in some areas. Over here we have more brassicas, broccoli, and we have Brussels sprouts. Again, whether those will be ready by the time our... Oh my gosh, I missed this yesterday. Holy cow, check out that cauliflower. So that is... Can you see that? So my hand doesn't even fit over half of that. Yay! Gardening is such a you're a glutton for punishment if you garden, and so anytime there's a victory, you have to celebrate it. So much goes wrong. Okay, and this is a mix of brassicas, so we have the cabbages and cauliflowers and broccoli and Brussels sprouts and cabbages. I already said that. There's a bunch of cabbages that need to be harvested. The Chinese ones, and there's some regular ones that are getting close. There are beets in here. They're still pretty small and they're just kind of scattered through. Celery filled this whole bed. It's doing great. The stalks are very small, but they're still good. Okay, and then the totally overflowing, I don't know what it is, but you know zucchini is going to take over, and yet when you put the little plants you started from seed in the bed and they're like teeny tiny, you think, oh, 6 to a bed isn't bad. And this bed is like 3 by 10, something like that. So it's not small, but it has like taken over and come out, and there's a ton in here. I have my backdrop of sunflowers. The middle rock bed with a volunteer sunflower, and we have onions and cucumbers trailing out, and cabbages, nasturtiums and basil, and regular cabbage. We've harvested a bunch of Chinese, but okay. And then you can kind of see the spot where it's actually filling in pretty well. There's a trail through the zucchini where the neighbor's bull got out and ran through. Good times. You can kind of see the dead stuff. Some of the yellow crookneck squash. And then we have pumpkins and zucchini and squash in here. So, and I think that's it. The beautiful carrot blossoms from last year. And our raspberries are getting close to being done. I can show you that really quickly. And then the grapes will be ready here in the next couple weeks probably, and go into September. Horses, those are not our horses. Those are my oldest friend's horses, who's been keeping them here. Raspberries, we still have. It feels like I keep harvesting all of them, but obviously there's still quite a few. So the horses are temporary. They've been here for about, maybe a month, to help get down our field. And now our newest additions to the farm. Come here! Come here! We got rid of all of our goats. I think we've had 9 goats total over the last 3 years. And I'm done with goats. And we have traded them for Katahdin sheep, which are, they look like wool sheep, but they're hair sheep, so they don't have to be. Come on. There you go. Come on. Come on. You gonna come over here? And we just picked them up yesterday. So the one is a wether, and he will be butchered next year after the female, the ewe that we got has babies. So Right now he's just her hangout partner. You gonna come closer so I can get video? Okay. Thanks for looking at the garden and kind of the farm for the month of August. I know I haven't been blogging about what's going on here, but the videos are easy and they actually give you a better overall perspective of what's happening. So next month it will probably all be dead. See you later.